Good morning. Ooh, here comes a really loud truck right at the beginning of my video. This is fun. I'm gonna let this truck go by. He's using his Jake brakes because he's going too fast coming into the tiny little town my dad lived in. But I'm making this video for my weekly newsletter because I had my week started out kind of emotional, and I've just been really busy with work and like trying to spend time with people I love. So I have not gotten around to write my newsletter. I usually send it on Thursday. I usually write it on Tuesday. I should say usually. The majority of the time I wrote it on Tuesday and sent it on Thursday. I'm a little behind. It's Friday. And once I make this video, I'm going to upload it to YouTube, and then I'm going to send it out in my newsletter to my fans and members. So what I wanted to share with you today, a couple things, but first, I'm thinking of, I have lots of great ideas. I don't have time to do them all, but I do some of them, and they're, I enjoy sharing them with people. But one thing I would like to do is start a maybe like 10-person max, and I probably am going to do women, sorry guys. I'm not sure the frequency. I feel like it has to be weekly to be effective, but kind of an accountability group where we can help each other stay on track with the projects that we're doing and encourage each other and give each other ideas. And one of the things I would love to start out doing in this group that I have already done for myself is for each person to make a morning message to themselves. When I read this morning, I made a morning message. When I read my morning message, it really inspires me to keep going and to do my best. And I'm going to read it to you. It starts out, "Good morning. I am grateful to wake up in safety and comfort. Today, I will do my best to have a positive impact on the world. I will take concrete steps toward my goals, and I will seek security for my future. I will act and speak with integrity and truth. I will practice non-attachment and compassion. I will respect the earth to the best of my ability. I will love myself unconditionally so that I might also love others. Today, I will let faith guide me and not fear. I will treat life with reverence. I will appreciate the simple things. I will seek adventure in everyday interactions and experiences. Today, I will seek a better understanding of myself and the world so that I might be a better person tomorrow. I will strive to use my knowledge and education to lead and educate others." And as I said in a recent video, sometimes I add things to the bottom of this depending on what's going on in my life. So right now, some of the extra things I have written are, I am surrounded by love. I take chances on things I'm passionate about. I attract people who are healthy for me. So that's my morning message, and I definitely encourage you, if you're interested in joining my accountability group, send me a message. And otherwise, I highly encourage you to create a really thoughtful, inspirational message for yourself that you can read every morning and just start your day off feeling really positive, no matter what's going on in your life. The other thing I wanted to share with you that at least one person on my Facebook page mentioned they would like to read is the sort of eulogy that I wrote for my mother. And I started writing it on Mother's Day, which was very, emotional. And I did cut it down a little bit because it was a little bit long, but I'd like to expound on one of the stories in it while I'm reading it. So here goes. "I often tell people that my mother should have been nominated for sainthood because of how selfless, nurturing, and people-focused she was. Everyone who knew her thought she was one of the sweetest people they'd ever met. Mom liked to make people feel welcome and cared for and loved, and she liked to feel useful. She dedicated much of her life to caring for her children, who she probably would have said included my father. other people's children, and the elderly, including her mother, who she took care of in the last years of her mother's life. Even when Mom's life was difficult, she learned to stay optimistic by finding the good in any situation. My mother could find the silver lining in any dark cloud, and she was a source of joy and optimism for many. A story I've told a million times happened in Rome in 2002 while I was there with my friend George. We were in the outdoor seating area of a restaurant on the edge of a beautiful piazza, and I was feeling a bit blue that day. So this must be the long version I'm reading you. So George and I are in a piazza in Rome. And a wedding party entered the piazza and sat at the tables around us. The bride, the groom, and the whole wedding party, all dressed up after just getting married in Rome. I looked at George and said, my mother used to tell me that when she felt blue, it would cheer her up to do something nice for someone else. We should buy them a bottle of champagne. He thought that was the greatest idea ever, and we ended up talking and laughing with them for hours, all because of what my mother had said to me years before. Although she probably would not have thought this about herself, Mom was very social. While not necessarily the most outgoing person, she would take any opportunity to talk to someone in the grocery store line or in a public place or at an event. She loved being involved in social communities like church, TOPS, or the senior lunch groups. She made friends easily with her sweet demeanor. Mom forged her own path for herself despite the obstacles. She did the best she could to love, nurture, and support us kids, even when she wasn't in Vermont. And I'm sure I don't know the half of it. I found out decades later that my mother had done something special for me before she left my father. She had sat down with my fifth grade teacher to discuss my schooling because I was working 2 grades above my level and she was worried that I'd get bored. If I was also sad about her being gone, that might lead to me getting into the wrong things. So she and my teacher decided to skip me over 6th grade and send me straight to the harder level classes in junior high so I'd be challenged more and need to keep my nose in the books. This surely changed the course of my life. And I'm so grateful that she was thinking about my future. Like my mom, I have a very adventurous spirit. When given a chance, Mom went to Las Vegas alone on a trip she'd won for free. She flew down from Vermont to visit me in Florida whenever I got her a ticket. She loved to try new foods and see new places and things. I took her to natural, cultural, and musical events and places whenever I could because she got such joy out of them. We would go miniature golfing, snowshoeing, to museums, and I even got her to hike where she never thought she would. My mother had a curious, childlike view of the world that few enjoy. Speaking of childlike, one of my mother's best attributes was being silly and goofy. I still have a journal entry from elementary school where I wrote, November 5th, 1980. This morning my mother came over to me and said, meow. Then she went over to Eddie and said, ruff. Then she went over to Diane and said, moo. I'm not sure where Liz was, but that basically sums up my mother's silly nature. All of us kids have photos with our mother where she's making a silly face, and we all remember times she made us laugh until we couldn't breathe. Her other best quality was her hugs. When my mother hugged you, you felt enveloped in love. I learned from the best and have been told many times that I give great hugs. One of the best pieces of advice my mother ever gave me was, if you don't ask, you don't get. This was a testament to her resourcefulness and the fact that she wasn't afraid to go after what she wanted. This piece of advice emboldened me to be resourceful too and has reaped great rewards in my life. In many ways, this is the second time I'm saying goodbye to Mom. The first was when her Alzheimer's became advanced enough that she couldn't have conversations that continued from one visit to the next. My mother was my biggest cheerleader, and that loss has been overwhelming for me. But she never lost her true happy, goofy nature over the course of the disease, and for that I'm grateful. Thank you, Mom, for all the love and joy you brought to those around you. Love you lots. Me too, you. And that is the extent of my video for today. I just really wanted to share those 2 things with you, and whoo, got a little emotional there. Yeah, so in a couple weeks I can read you my dad's eulogy that I'm writing for him. It's been a tough year, and I'm sure it's been tough for many of you too, and I hope you're all hanging in there. We are going to get through this and be better than ever. I love you all.